They do because of one challenge in particular, which is the number one problem in communication, and that's the curse of knowledge. And it's something that the Heath brothers in their fantastic book Made to Stick talked about years ago. And in that book, they give a great example. 1990, a psychology student asked two groups of people to play a game, tappers and listeners. If you were a tapper, you had to tap out rhythms to famous songs on a table. So Steve, think about very famous songs, but instead of singing the songs, you just had to tap out the rhythm. That's it. If you were a listener, you just had to try and guess the song. That's it. Before the experiment started, the student asked the tappers to estimate how many songs they thought that the listeners would have guessed. And they thought 50%. That was their estimation. Now, in reality, things were very different because the listeners only guessed 2.5% of the songs. 2.5 versus 50, massive difference. Why? Because if you are a tapper, you have knowledge that the listeners don't have. You have the songs in your head. So for you, those songs are obvious. But if you're a listener, you don't have the knowledge. You don't have the songs in your head. So you do find it very hard to guess them. And this is the number one problem in communication, which happens especially if you have a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience. The number one problem is the curse of knowledge, which means that we find it hard to imagine what it means not knowing what we know. It's our inability to put ourselves in the audience's shoes, and that's why most people fall into that trap.